Welcome in to the Brave and the Attempt podcast. I'm your host, Wyatt Spalding, and today we are joined by Dr. Max Kurz. Max, how's it going?
It's great. Thanks for having me.
So Max works at Boys Town, and we'll get into this later on in the episode, but Special Olympics is working with Max in Boys Town coming this October, doing an event, and we can't wait for the event in October, which we'll talk about in the episode. But Max, why don't you just start by telling off a little bit about yourself and um, just how you got into helping people with disabilities?
Okay. So I'm a PhD, so I'm a research scientist. I started off with most of my research was just really on human movement and just in general. And then I began working in like a clinical gait lab. So kids with cerebral palsy often come in and we analyze their gait and they make decisions on like our orthotics and prosthetics. And working in that environment, I came up, it was just like there's more to it. You can see like, hey, there's more to it than just all these structural changes.
Mhm.
And it's likely related to how the brain is working and controlling things. And so that kind of like sparked all my interest in like the neuroscience and how the brain is working and how we can change it. I also just got exposed to there's some really cool books out there, like The Brain That Heals Itself. And it's like, wow. I mean, just through like movement and experiences, we can like change the brain in beneficial ways. And that sparked my whole career in interest in really helping with people with just like movement challenges, just in general.
Yeah. So, like growing up, did you have any encounters with people with disabilities or with cerebral palsy?
Not directly per se. Yeah, so later in my life as more of an adult, of course, within research, but also I have uh, my my nephew actually has Down syndrome, so I had like a little bit more like what is the real life family experiences? What are the challenges that they have? I mean, he's still like quite young, so
Yeah.
I'm learning more about the family side of it, but no, I wouldn't say directly per se.
Okay. So I like looking up and doing my research. You've done all these studies and everything, and um, when the studies that you have done, what what surprised you the most about learning about people with cerebral palsy and kind of what they go through on a day-to-day basis?
I think that, well, some of the things that we really like uncovered is just like where some of the challenges in processing our movements or making the decisions that we have. Some of those were of interest. Um, so, like for example, there's a lot of just sensory processing problems
Mhm.
that are they're not recognizing, how your limbs are moving. Some of the outcomes also from our imaging was that there's a lot of like more challenges in like just planning a movement action or how it should actually be performed. That's probably also connected with just like not knowing your body awareness through your sensations.
Yeah.
But those things were like very interesting, more like what are the mechanisms that are there, but they really they drive like our therapeutic approaches that we have. So in a lot of cases for like physical therapy, it's more about just like repetition and doing it a lot of times it will like solve itself. For example, like for like mobility, you'd put somebody on just on a treadmill and just like walk and try to figure out how to coordinate your legs. But it's a little bit more than that, especially if you don't know how to plan your step. You don't know like if you're evaluating the feedback to your body, like what should I be paying attention to? And like those are the things that the research kind of opened up for us. So it's really changed the way our treatment approaches. Those were surprising things. And I guess by using those approaches, we've had pretty beneficial outcomes, pretty robust, and they are actually larger than like I talked about, just like walking on a treadmill.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
those are like remarkable things.
yeah, like for sure. I always tell people, like opening a door. I can do it without thinking with my left. with my right. It's like, all
Yeah.
right, you gotta grip it, gotta put your shoulder in, dude, because you're not strong. Like you're trying to
Yeah.
like really force it, and then or like kicking a soccer ball. Like I will do that to make my right leg stronger, but in practice, I can do it with my right leg, but in the game, I don't because it doesn't come naturally to me to use my right leg or to like I feel like I don't have the quick time reaction time to do it. I just use my left. So it's
Right.
really like when I try to explain to people like, well, yeah, I have to like think about it. I can't just do it. It's not something that just comes naturally to me, like using my right side or doing some kind of exercise movement or whatever it is. And yeah, definitely trying to figure out like I know like some people with CP, like you said, like even just walking, like you really have to think about one step at a time. So,
So yeah, so that's like super important because I mean, like it's more than just your muscle machinery,
mhm.
So it does involve like your brain and how your brain thinks about processing and to actually teach that a little bit more on how to plan and how to use your brain. It'll become more effortless as you go. That's a way different treatment strategy. And I'm using it for like physical therapy, but it's also just for like for athletes like you.
Yeah.
I mean, that really we need to spend more time on the cognitive components and thinking it out and how to perform. That's like super important. So the teaching strategies are way different.
Yeah, like I feel like when we do stuff, like if we do an experiment or like go to physical therapy, if people say like, "Oh, we're just going to physical therapy," it's not very motivating. But if like, "Oh, we're trying to train your brain to do this," or "We're trying to train your body to do this," it's kind of like more motivating because it's like you're training. You're not just kind of there to go to physical therapy. So, yeah, definitely it helps when people like you guys put us through some studies and it's honestly like people will ask you, like me, like, what's CP like? How come you can't do this or that? It's like, I don't know. I'm not in your position. I don't do studies. I just have it, man. So I'm just trying to figure it out. Talk to a researcher like Max or something. I'm just trying to make it through the day, you know?
But flip on the other side of that, I mean, it is like we have like all these sophisticated tools to look at, uh, how you plan and do all, create your movements. But it also does take like people like you and the cerebral palsy population to say like, hey, I have this problem and
Mhm.
I'm having difficulty like doing these movements. It's taking more cognitive effort because then it spurs us to go like, oh, we should look and focus on this a little bit more.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's like the breakthroughs are not just like from me driven. It's a community that's helping to make these breakthroughs. So I think like the dialogue is like super important.
Yeah, for sure. One thing, like talking to someone like yourself that helps people like me is like kind of like I call it like CP pain. Like the one thing that always interests me more is like you have to use like 2 times more of the energy or 10 times more energy
Oh,
than
sure.
the average person, and just like and like someone's like, "You okay? You look tired." It's like, "Yeah, I'm like my CP pain kicked in." Like, and it's not like a regular soreness. It's like it kind of pounds and your feet really hurt. And I've talked to other people with CP, and some people have it worse. Some people I know. I have a friend. He said, "I don't have pain, but I'm just tight all the time." And I'm just like, "Man, you don't have pain? I have pain all the time." Like, I wish
Yeah.
I was tight, only tight, but like, yeah. So talking to people like you you can kind of get it, or we can explain it to you, and you're willing to listen. Because if you go to sometimes a regular doc and like, oh, you're just sore, it's like, no, like my CP like really hurts. Like it's hard to explain to people too. But
Yeah, I think this is like super, super important. Just that the just in science in general, I think that a lot of times like we're studying a patient population and the scientist is directing the questions, but it's like more impactful if the community is collaborating with the scientists to drive the questions. And that's happened a lot over here at Boys Town.
yeah,
I mean, even when you've participated, to be in the clinic, for me as a scientist and see and talk things out and be like, oh wow, that's like a very important thing. It's like for an example, for us. And I think you maybe have done some of the power training protocols that
yeah,
that, that we had. with it. But one thing that we realized is that individuals who predominantly use like a wheelchair to get around, whether it's fatigue or it's their primary mode for just community mobility, just in general, that they like if you fall making a transfer, from your wheelchair to the toilet to your bed, that's like a super huge problem.
Yeah.
Because then you have to be able to get back into the chair. But sometimes, we wouldn't recognize that that's a big problem because they're like, oh, you got a wheelchair. I mean, you just wheel around. You're fine in the community. It's not that part. It's this transfer. And so then we started to like, oh, let's design treatments that will help with this transfer. And the outcomes were like very beneficial. But
Mhm.
that came from a dialogue in the clinic with individuals and saying, this is our problem. How do we solve it? So it's like very important to have that bidirectional communication.
Yeah. So throughout your career, because you were at, correct me around Nebraska medicine, right? Before you came to Boys Town?
Oh, before I came to Boys Town, yeah, I started off at Nebraska Medicine. That's where I
Yeah.
worked in the gate lab.
So how has like technology just improved for you over the years and made your job like even easier today from when you started?
Oh, geez, yeah, there's just like technology changes like very rapidly and allows us to look at different things that we would not have before. I mean, even like we use like this machine. It's called a Meg,
Mhm.
and it looks like it's like super sophisticated in that it looks at there's magnetic fields around the active portions of the brain, and to be able to measure those active fields is like super cutting edge. And now here, even at Boys Town, they've reduced it to really small sensors, and you can wear it as a hat, and that will allow us to like look at how the brain is working, like as you're walking.
Mhm.
I mean, before even a lot of the technology when I was at Nebraska Medicine is, it's been 15 years I've been working on these projects. So
Mhm.
the tasks that we're doing were like move your knee. And then we'd like try to relate that to gait. Well, moving your knee while you're sitting in a chair is not the same as like when you're actually walking. And that technology is like really allowing us to have breakthroughs, and those understandings are going to drive like new therapeutic approaches. So it's rapidly evolving. Technology is always rapidly evolving, even just like artificial intelligence and trying to find like, certain aspects of the brain and how they're connected with your movement.
Yeah.
It's just like very, very fast the field moves. It's hard to keep up with sometimes, I'll tell you the truth.
I bet. Like, where do you find like these cool technology stuff? Because I remember when I did like kind of training at Boys Town, I didn't use it, couldn't have to, but there was like this harness you could put people in and they could walk for people that couldn't walk or whatever. And you guys had some really cool stuff. So, how do you find like these
Yeah.
new studies or technology things to help
Yeah.
people?
So, I mean, it takes like just keeping uh, on track with the literature and breakthroughs across the country. And then often this technology becomes commercialized, and then you can pitch to your administration like how are you going to use this and how it's going to help people. And then you get access. And I think that's one of the benefits of the research environment that I'm at here right now is just the resources that are available. The other benefit of my environment is that the technology that we have, it's all housed under really one roof.
Mm.
Whereas in most university, you go to Boston or you go to Chicago, and you have to use these certain technologies that are spread out across a medical campus, and it's just more challenging and it's not as convenient. So I think that is like a big benefit that we have. It's just like the barriers for helping with research are just like really they're low
Yeah.
and open.
Throughout your like time and studying people with CP and other disabilities, like yeah, it affects us physically, but have you done any studies where you see how a disability can affect someone mentally too?
Oh, sure. Oh, sure. We've done some experiments on it's called like working memory and ability to like hold chunks of information and then report them back. And we have seen that there are some challenges that are there, and even how the brain is working. Um, and those are accompanied with the motor action, the motor problems that we definitely see. But it's something to be aware of is that um, like mental health problems are like super a big problem also
Mm.
in individuals with developmental disabilities, especially since they when they start to age a little bit more, and those individuals can be on a pathway for accelerated aging. Even in the Down syndrome community, um, they have like a higher propensity for having developing like Alzheimer's disease uh, symptoms and along it, because that one is driven predominantly by the genetic makeup of individuals with Down syndrome. But if you maybe do or do not know, they're starting to recognize that in cerebral palsy, there's a higher incidence of this even. Like to have like just dementia and stuff like that as their age. So there's like a critical need to get out ahead of that. I mean, I'm very motor centric and movement centric. That's kind of like my passion.
Yeah.
We do some cognitive testing in that, but we're definitely getting more into adults with developmental disabilities and try to understand them, what is happening as they age and how we could actually treat that. So it's a prominent problem that's under recognized in the public in general.
Yeah, like I think for sure, like as you get older, because you get out of school, and so you're not around people like your own age all the time. Um, I think like it's hard for anyone to make friends as you get older, but like for me, like I can't drive, so it's hard to like.
Yeah,
I'm always
yeah.
like invite people over or like, well, can you come get me? And or it's like I know not all people with CP, but like I have medical conditions too, get sick a lot. So like you're hanging out with people, then you get sick, so you miss out on a lot. And it's not like a couple days, it could be a couple weeks, just depends. And yeah, definitely like mentally it affects you as you get older. I like I feel way more sore now at like 30 than I did like in my 20s. Like, and probably everybody does, but I'm just like, I can just feel my CP like pain more. And I was like, dang it, like this sucks. Like,
I'm with you. I'm with you. Yes. And I'm way more older than you, so yes, I understand
yeah,
those problems
yeah. And I'm
for
like,
sure.
it's like some days I'm like, man, I'm like 30, but I feel like I'm like 50 or whatever. Like, I just feel so sore all the time. I'm just like,
You're my age.
yeah. And I'm just like,
I'm
I can't work out like every single day anymore because like I'll like kill my body. I used to like do that in high school and then when I went to college. But then like now it's like, all right, I gotta recover more. Like I'm just,
yeah.
you kind of notice it and like I even told my doc like, yeah, like you think I could have like arthritis? And like, oh yeah, I mean you can definitely have it at an earlier age because like things were just hurting more. And so
I'm with you.
yeah, so yeah, definitely the mental aspect is big.
Yeah, mental.
Um, I'll like so kind of this is a special podcast, so I kind of want to tie Special Olympics into this too. Like,
Sure.
have you ever been to a Special Olympic event before?
If I have, it's been really long time ago.
Yeah,
It's not recently. I haven't. I know like our team has some plans to be a little bit more integrated with things that are
yeah.
ongoing.
So through you like your research and everything, like how important? I mean, we kind of stated it, but let's state it again. Like, how important is it for like just people with disabilities in general? Do you think to like to stay active? Eat healthy, work out, play sports like Special Olympics has. From your studies, have you seen like if they move more, are they more healthier or
Yeah.
what have you seen?
But I'll put it out there, like I don't think individuals with Special Olympics are any different than the general population.
Yeah.
I mean, we all should be active and healthy and stuff like that, for sure. I do have like a premise that I think for activity just in general. So I think the individuals with developmental disabilities overall, those who are not in Special Olympics, like their fitness level is lower, their capacity for extra, because it's like you said, like our social networks get reduced, we're doing less, we're spending just time at maybe in isolation at home. And Special Olympics would offer us that activity, that opportunity for activity, but also cognitive,
Mhm.
engagement in that. I have an idea that I've been working on is that a lot of individuals are showing up for physical therapy and just their physical capacity is not up to par. And I'm not saying that you have to be an elite athlete, but
Yeah,
just your fitness level is not quite there yet. So if your fitness is not up, it's hard to work on then on special skills
yeah,
that you want because you just don't have the fitness to do it. You get fatigued, even
right.
mentally fatigued, and you can't pay attention to, the task at hand. So I really think that being active can set you up better for physical therapy and in life, just in general. So one thing that I've seen this in the clinic and I have like that idea is that we're working on a project right now, and it's like can we just increase the physical fitness capacity of individuals with developmental disabilities through a walking program that we have? And you wear like wearable technology and we track you and you meet with my team a couple times a week. And they're like, well, what are your barriers? Why can't you be more active? How can we change this to get you to be better? And then we're looking at just like, can we increase your physical fitness? And also, can we then change your brain in a beneficial way. So I think that Special Olympics by itself plays into both of those things,
Mm.
physical fitness, and I do think that it's impacting brain health
Yeah,
also.
yeah,
And so I would say those are the beneficial thing. Oh, and it's great that those opportunities are right there and prime for somebody to take advantage of them.
yeah, for sure. Like, even like we said, like from a social aspect, like that could be like your only outing for the week and just going to practice, seeing your
Yep.
friends and teammates. Or like in practice is like an hour usually. And I'm always trying to tell people like, yeah, like you don't have to be like that physically active. Like you can do skills, play 3-on-3. Like I'm thinking basketball here right now, but skills 3-on-3. There's 5-on-5. It's just all levels, any sport. Like as long as you get out there. So yeah, I mean, I definitely see like how it helped me along the way, and it's just kind of good. And it is fun to play sports. Like read this quote like sports is just toys for adults. So,
I like that.
yeah, so I was like, well, yeah, I mean, why not? Like I think because like anyone like you, let's say you want to go play in some men's pickup league in sports, and so that's what Special Olympics is. We're just playing in a league that we're adults, you know. But
Yeah, I totally agree with all these things. We're on the same page for sure.
yeah. So why don't you tell us about the event you have coming up in October for people with cerebral palsy that Special Olympics is coming to, and um yeah,
Yeah,
so
yeah. So we have when I came to Boys Town, I started this up. It's like a cerebral palsy awareness day, essentially, and it's coming up here next month. So we've been doing it for quite a few years. And my original idea was really to like bring the community together who have cerebral palsy because it's just like the voice for those individuals doesn't seem to be as loud
yeah.
out in the community,
Hmm.
and to make the community more aware of our patient population in general. It offers an opportunity to like get together socially like we've already talked about.
Yep.
I Some things that are also is just like you get to see somebody that's like you and
Yeah.
hear about the success of somebody, that has cerebral palsy, and stuff like that. I think that is like really important in building networks that in some cases have been sustained over the years, and it can be like coming to it like almost a reunion
Yeah.
also to come together. I think that this is just important and just celebrating life and celebrating families and just bringing everybody together. And it also, like, because my team is there and stuff like that, trying to help with the celebration. It's an opportunity for a discussion of like challenges that exist and
Yeah,
questions that should be addressed. I mean, even like we talked about mental health and that we did talked about that came out to, like, my understanding that it was like actually an issue that came out from one of the cerebral palsy awareness days. I was there, and everybody came out of COVID, and COVID was very impactful on
right.
those with developmental disabilities. Like, oh my gosh, and what should be done, and is this a problem? And then we started doing these cognitive. This comes out through this whole event. And also you get like families and individuals get to see like what are the resources? Because sometimes like we don't know what is out there
Right.
to help you and what's available. And a lot of those individuals will have those groups have tables and stuff. So I think it's just like a big win-win overall. And I'm just so happy that it's been sustained at Boys Town.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I can definitely relate on the part where like you meet people like you. Like, I have two of my best friends have CP. We all three almost have like the same kind of CP. One lives like all the way in Chicago. One lives all the way in like Baltimore. So it's like hard to like,
Yeah.
meet people like you, and it's not like from the person with CP effect. It's like sometimes you don't always talk about having CP, but just like knowing like, oh, like they probably go through some of the stuff I go through. Or
Yes.
if you do talk about it, like they get it. You just know that they get it. Where it's
Yeah.
like, and it's fine. Like I'm always pushing for, people with disabilities and non-disabilities to be friends if you have stuff in common and stuff. But it's like when you don't have the disability, it's like it's hard to explain to you because you don't have CP. So it's just hard to explain. Like I go through this, or you may think this is easy for me, but really it's not, and all that. And because in high school, I was the only one in my friend group that had a disability. So it's like when I tried to explain stuff, and I'm only like 16 years old, like I don't know anything about CP that much. And yeah, it's just hard to explain. So, but when you meet someone that, even if like you have different forms of CP, like it's just cool to meet people that have the same disability. And I don't know, maybe you can back me up on this, but my big thing about like trying to explain cerebral palsy to people is like it's different for everyone.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you get this, but people will come up to me like, yeah, don't they have the same kind of CP that you do? And I was like, no, like it's way different. Like we may go through some of the same stuff, yes, but like some people are maybe deal with more challenges than I do. I deal with maybe more challenges than someone else does. Like, and yeah, the population's like I just hate it when they think like we all have the same kind of CP. It's like we don't, man. So, do you get that in your line of work sometimes when they
Oh,
ask?
totally, totally. And I am more in tune with the diversity of the presentations. And yeah, and I mean, that's like also resonates with the research is that we're trying to identify your fingerprint, essentially, your neurological fingerprint. And if we can find that, then we can design the therapy for you, as opposed to just giving you like, oh, here's this generic thing that we do. Just run through the hoops and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
yes, on many levels, for
yeah,
sure.
for sure. All right, Max. Well, thanks for joining us on the Brave the Attempt podcast. Um, Max's event will be on Sunday, October 5th, right, Max?
That's right.
CP Awareness Day from
You bet.
what 1 to 4,
I
1 to 5.
believe that's correct. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so if you're in Omaha, then come out and see it at Boys Town and get to know people with cerebral palsy. So thanks for joining us today, Max.
Yeah. Thanks for having me. Great discussion.